Hello, I'm back again. I thought I wasn't going to do another one today, but this is important, and it's one that I wrote about and put in to a different post channel, but I forgot I hadn't given it to you, and it's only a couple of days old, but it's still very relevant. So I want to talk to you about it because it's something that is on my mind, and it should be on your mind. I'm sorry for saying that. I shouldn't be telling you what you should think, but I need to tell you. So I'm going to start off as I wrote it. The UK's pro-life movement is calling on Catholic bishops, Roman Catholic bishops, to speak out on more publicity and effectively against the culture that sees women being pressurised by medical staff to have an abortion. The move comes after two mothers ended their pregnancies following Nottingham University Hospital's NHS National Health Service Trust, one of the UK's largest hospitals teaching organisation, mistakenly informing them. I'm not so sure, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for this post. Mistakenly informing them that their unborn babies had serious genetic conditions. Now I'm going to quote what the pro-life movement said. The church must accept its own part in this terrible situation in which clergy and lay faithful have failed to speak up through fear, discomfort or ignorance. Isabel Vaughan Spruce, a pro-life advocate, I've written about her several times in another post, in another channel, and co-director of March for Life UK, told the BBC that the BBC reports that Carly Weston terminated her pregnancy at 14 weeks after being told that her child had Patter's syndrome. I'll tell you what it is. The genetic disorder often results in miscarriage, stillbirth, or the baby dying shortly after delivery. 90% of children born with Patter's, I'll tell you how it's spelled. It's spelled P-A-T-A-U, Patau syndrome, die within the first year. Now, I suspect that one of my church members, I don't go there anymore, but I've heard, so I don't know exactly, that is having a baby this month, and she's been told that her baby will be not born alive or will last just a few weeks or months. So I'm thinking perhaps I wasn't told what the condition is, but I'm thinking it's this, and this is what's brought it to my mind. I'm thinking this is what she's been told her baby is suffering from. Okay, so Ms. Wesson told the BBC it's the most impossible choice we've ever had to take. We thought the best option was to end the pregnancy because the baby was suffering. Carly Wesson, with her partner, Carl, 6 weeks after the abortion, now listen to this, Ms. Wesson was called to a meeting at the City Hospital, one of the Trust's two hospitals, where they were told that the results had been a false positive. The doctor leading the meeting reportedly said, "Well, you could have miscarried anyway." They aborted the expectant child, because it was told it got Patter's syndrome. It hadn't. There was nothing wrong with the child. Another mother was pressurised into having an abortion by the Nottingham University Hospital after being told their baby had the life-limiting genetic condition, the same Pater. She was informed by the trust that she must decide within a day, as the pregnancy was approaching the 24-week mark, and after which most abortions in Britain are prohibited by UK law. The mother described receiving the frantic call in the late afternoon one day telling her we had to decide by the following day to terminate. However, a post-mortem examination revealed that the child didn't have the condition. Second one. Another family, goes on and on, doesn't it? Another family were offered a termination after being told their child had a serious condition preventing them from emptying their bladder, which meant they would either be stillborn or live a very short time. After arriving at the hospital to take the medication, now I want to get this right, so I'm going to check what the records are yes. Okay, so where was I? I'm trying to. After arriving at the hospital, yes, to take the medication, the father insisted on another scan. During the scan, the child emptied its bladder, and so the father refused, and the mother, of course, refused the termination. See, just because he insisted on another scan, if he hadn't done, that would have been another termination of a healthy pregnancy. What's going on, I ask myself, and I'm asking you as well, what do you think is going on? It is a consequence which is consistent with the relative value system which we have fostered in this country for decades, that life is only valuable if we value it. That was by Mrs. Bourne Spruce, who gained attention after being arrested, if you may remember, for silent prayer within 150 metres of an abortion facility. This scandal is devastating, she goes on so many levels, and we need to give honest thought of how it has arisen. So she's saying it's a consequence of this relative value system which fostered in this country over many decades now, that life is only valuable if we value it. The Nottingham University Hospital is one of England's largest teaching trusts, collaborated with the University of Nottingham to train healthcare students. However, it has a history of poor antenatal and neonatal care. Poor record, yet it's one of the largest teaching hospitals. So they're churning them out. They're churning out these doctors and nurses, and they've got a bad antenatal and neonatal care. With the National Health Service paying out more than, get this, 100 million. Now let's remember, they say they're underfunded. They paid out, now it's just one hospital, remember, £100 million over failings at the Trust Maternity Centre between 2006 and 2023. 100 million paid out for failings for looking after pregnant women and their babies, unborn or newly born. It's a disgrace, as you obviously think. Let me see if I can see any more information. I've wrote this all myself, so it's just it's been a couple of days and I've written so much stuff. The revelation of these misdiagnoses coincides with a review of the care received by more than 2,000 families in the review, led by senior midwife Donna Ockenden, and known as the Ockenden Review. It is the largest maternity inquiry into the NHS history. It is unclear how many of the cases may have involved incorrect medical information leading to abortions, or how many instances involved medical staff putting pressure on patients to undergo an abortion. Simultaneously, Nottinghamshire Police have been conducting a criminal investigation into the trust since September 2023. Excuse me, I'll have a quick drink. I'll tell you why I keep coughing. I wasn't going to, but I had a major brain bleed, a deep stroke, as they call them, in my head, and it has affected my health quite a bit. Then, together with my, I've only got 37% of my heart, and the left ventricle of my heart left. So, please excuse me when I falter, and sometimes I lose my thoughts, as you you've noticed, I'm sure. So they are the police, Nottinghamshire Police, are conducting a criminal investigation into the trust since 2023. They have recently started to receive information from the academic review team, with more than 100 baby deaths and injuries under police review. One of the main concerns of the UK pro-life movement regarding what has happened in Nottinghamshire is that the mistakes aren't limited to that location. John Edwards, pro-life coordinator for the Diocese of Nottingham, told OSV News. Now, I don't know who OSV News is. I did write it down, but as I say, my mind's not as good as it used to be. The idea that, this is what he said, the idea that such woeful, inadequate care of newborn children is not only occurring in Nottingham is a nonsense. It's been picked up on here, but it's clearly replicated across the country. He also called on the church to do more, stating leadership matters, and if priests and bishops said this was wrong, it would make all the difference. While Mr. Edwards says he believes that Bishop Patrick McKinney, the Bishop of the Diocese of Nottingham, has shown support for pro-life causes, the pro-life coordinator feels that other church leaders have remained quiet on abortion to avoid controversy and confrontation or offence. And yes, I'm aware of this. I am a churchman myself, and I'm aware of my disappointment in the lack of leadership and the lack of courage to speak up on things that are going on with our freedom of speech, or with our freedom of movement that we had during the COVID things, and of course on abortions and the stabbings that are going on across the country, especially in London and Birmingham. In 2022, according to the most recent completed data, 251,377 abortions were carried out in England and Wales, the highest number since the Abortion Act was introduced. I'm going to finish soon, but I think there's something else I wrote that I wanted to speak to you about. We're currently discussing this, how life is valued, in regards to the elderly and terminally ill. Yes, there's abortions killing off the ones who are to be born and are not born because they're killed by doctors. I think doctors who used to have this oath, they said, to preserve life, are actually doing the opposite now and killing life. And now they're looking at this assisted dying, which is again kill the young and kill the elderly. Why? Is it financial? Is it because people are too lazy to look after each other, too unloving to care for each other? I think it is. And it's a worrying aspect of current life in Britain that we're not prepared to put ourselves out a bit and show loving kindness and charity and care for the welfare of our elderly and of our children. And it's all now, as the lady who said, that life now is only valuable if the woman to give birth thinks it's valuable, and if the younger generation only find life valuable for the elderly if they think it's valuable. Life should not be upon someone else's feelings. Life is an absolute right, and we're not prepared, it seems, to stand up for that right. These people are calling out the Catholic Church, but it's every church. It's Protestant church and Methodist. What are they? You know what they are. The Baptists, so the Pentecostal and all these other churches. They all are failing in their duty to speak up out of fear. What do you think? I'd love to hear your comments, and that subscribe button. Please press the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a penny, doesn't cost you a cent, doesn't even cost you a rupee. It's totally free. So press the subscribe button and press the like button, because I like to be liked, and You know you want to make me happy, and it makes me happy if you press the like button and the subscribe button. And I will continue then to bring you the news that other medias are not bringing you. You're being kept in the dark. I don't want you kept in the dark. I want to tell you the truth. So please, 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 until the next one, and this seems to be becoming fast and furious at the moment, there's so much going on in the world. Please stay tuned to this channel. Until the next one, bye for now.